this is a friendship song. And I hope that with this song that people are able to see each other with care and respect and acknowledgement of the differences that we have. We have our 7-generation principle that we follow as Haudenosaunee people, which talks about being able to think about the decisions that we have now that will affect the next 7 generations. So the leadership does not only need to come from us now as a present, but also give it on and pass it on to the next generation and the generations following them.
It's my great honor to be serving as facilitator, moderator for today's Global Ethical Stocktake North America. So I want to say Maburika, Maburika, Maburika. Welcome to each and every one of you, excellencies, distinguished guests, elders, leaders, and all of our friends who are gathered around to observe today.
This is the 6th and final regional dialogue of the Global Ethical Stocktake. We come together at a critical moment. The costs of this climate crisis are mounting. Last year was the warmest year on record, which is the pattern. The first year, the average temperature exceeded 1.5 Celsius above pre-industrial levels. And this year alone, the North American region has seen unprecedented floods, storms, heat waves, and wildfires. At the same time, we have more data, information, and technology and alternative ways than we have ever had before. It is not enough. We need not only information, we need wisdom. To invoke and marshal that, it takes a careful shift in approach. It takes intention and it takes attention. And that is what we are doing here.
Ter uma atitude respeitosa com o meio ambiente é não provocar ações que nos levem a desconstituir as grandes regularidades que já estavam estabelecidas quando nós chegamos aqui. Nós nos orientamos por essas regularidades cósmicas e a nossa ação, sem os devidos cuidados, fizeram com que a gente interferisse nesse processo. E nós estamos desmontando algo que nós não contribuímos em absolutamente nada para que existisse, não sabemos absolutamente nada do que fazer para que volte a existir, caso esse processo entre num ponto de não retorno.
Is embedded in this whole issue of ethics and values. Those who have created the problem must give up the most to solve it. Climate change is also about vulnerability, and it's also about responsibility. Those who have contributed least to the problem will feel the pain, are feeling the pain first, worst, and longest.
I'm from the top of the world, a country called Galaxy Nunad, the land of the people, the biggest island on earth, but also the center of climate change. When I was born the other day, 77 years ago, the big ice was about 3 kilometers thick on the average. But now, because the way you and I will live in the world is down to some places less than 1 kilometer.
Eu conversei com mulheres na floresta, eu conversei com as mulheres agricultoras lá do Rio Grande do Sul, do meu país, que foram fortemente impactadas pelas chuvas, que perderam toda a sua produção, e a gente sabe que a agricultura familiar em sua maioria, conduzida pelas mulheres. As mudanças climáticas impactam mais fortemente a vida de mulheres e meninas. Mas eu quero começar a falar outra coisa, eu quero começar a mostrar resultado para elas. E esses resultados só podem sair dessas mesas de negociação.
These negotiations of climate change started as something related exclusively on science. Science is what triggered the discussion of climate change. And little by little, we saw how much very strong importance in all kinds of human activities. And obviously economics, politics, social dimension of climate change, all this has grown, and many of you have contributed to the debate by writing books, texts, and participating in events that had a strong influence on this debate.
It's very loud because it represents the sound of the big sky.
Ho, 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 ho. Ashkan totlapalolisin miklan pachaneque. I think it really takes a lot of courage and vision to put on the table in today's world an ethical perspective about anything. And even more so about climate change, which is considered the biggest threat to humanity.
We live in a world where the top 1% emit more than 66% of the world's force. That's 5 million people. Where the fossil fuel companies are earning record profits while our planet burns.
If we're here to talk about ethics, we need to understand that every new fossil fuel project, whether it's LNG or fracking or oil drilling, will cost lives. In fact, it is because fossil fuels are the greatest cause of premature death on the planet. 8 million people last year just due to air pollution from fossil fuels alone, let alone the fires, the floods, and the lethal heat that is sweeping our planet.
We're trapped within the systems. The economic, legal, and political systems trap us. And as long as we're operating within that, we're just doing incremental changes that protect the systems that are destructive.
We need to have equity and justice in a managed and well-designed decline and phase out of fossil fuels. And that's where justice comes in, because you can't just turn off the taps overnight. We have to, the more we manage the phase out, the more people's lives and livelihoods we'll save.
We were born in New Jersey as just a tiny little local interfaith environmental group back in the early 2000s. And now we've got staff in 12 countries. We've got volunteers in 40 countries. And these volunteers, these people are gutsy, local people of faith. They stand up, they do the work that was just mentioned, and they get threatened and harassed consistently by governments and by corporate representatives, and they do what they do because they have this utterly irrational, essential belief, period. And we dig that belief. We think it's awesome. And we know that it's the fuel that the world needs to change.
The winds of change are here, and they are carving out a new song. The impossible is now imperative. What kind of miracle will we be? What kind of mystical intervention will you cause? We are in the wake of a great shifting. Awaken. We will be the shapers who carve out the unknown.
Alexa Ferreira, she's a Brazilian artist from the northeast of Brazil. She has been accompanying us throughout the 6 global ethical stocktakes, creating a work of art through collage. And we invited, in all editions, the participants and the authorities to join us in co-creating our artwork that will be presented during COP30 in the pavilion of the Global Ethical Stocktake in Belém this November.
Sun comes shining and I am strolling, the wheat fields waving, the dust clouds rolling, a voice comes shouting as the fog is lifting. We borrow this land for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From the icy waters to the Mayan valleys, from the redwood forest to the lovely islands. This land, we belong to this land, you and me.
Thank you.